There is something new.
Paolo, last question for you. In the future, I'm thinking if that engine is faster, the 22 engine, and we get to somewhere like Austria and you've had time to develop it, do you expect it to start to shine?
For sure, before a race, you are always so focused and try to be in the zone. But now everything is a bit lost, you know, because we are just waiting. We don't know what to do. Maybe we go out, maybe we go in, maybe we cannot go. It's a pity. And also, I would like to race in a normal condition, with wet, but normal condition, because I would like to try the MotoGP bike on rain. But at the moment, seems a bit too much, let's say.
Fabio, I imagine the team and Ducati have so much experience in the wet, they just put a setting that they tell you will work. Do you have any input on how you want the setting, or you just trust them and go ride it?
Well, for sure, we start from our base setup of the dry, and we do all the modifyings for the wet. But honestly, I don't have any feedbacks. Also, then say to me, go out and enjoy, because we don't know anything. So also for me, it will be my first time, and yeah, I'm waiting.
Fabio, thank you for your time. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Scenes you didn't expect to see at 3:15 on race day Sunday at the Indonesian Grand Prix. The entire pit lane is giving this lady an audience here.
Well, to be honest, let's hope this works. Apparently this is a local rain ritual.
Desperate times and all that.
Banish away these clouds. Let's hope this...
But that's where we are, and no, I mean, a lot of things have changed today. You know, we planned on the 27-lap race, but then that got knocked back, and then the rains come in, so that sort of changed our approach again. So, no, I mean, 27-lap race was going to be a big old survival race, I think, trying to manage the tyres and whatnot. 20 laps sort of brought it back into safe range, let's say, where you could be able to push a bit more. Now having wet, you know, this should stop pretty soon, and when it does stop, I'm assuming it's going to pull up pretty quickly. And yeah, the track won't dry completely, but I think some areas will become dry towards the end of the race. But no, fingers crossed it just stops now and we can get back underway.
Jack, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks to Jack Miller, yeah, echoing the sentiments of all of us here in Indonesia. We do hope that we can get underway for our pole man and our reigning world champion. Now, this lady is doing some sterling work now. She's been out on the grid. She is trying to...
There is something new.
Paolo, last question for you. In the future, I'm thinking if that engine is faster, the 22 engine, and we get to somewhere like Austria and you've had time to develop it, do you expect it to start to shine there?
Well, as you know, once you make the choice, it's made for the whole season, no? So we have to totally transparent. It's so difficult to improve an engine like the engine we were using last year, because it already reached a very high level of performances. So obviously engineers always try to do a little bit better, but sometimes the difference is really small. So it goes back to the feeling of the rider on that engine more than on the actual performance.
Paolo, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks to Ducati Lenovo team manager Paolo Ciabatti with Simon Crafar. We just saw there is the president of Indonesia. That's how big this event is for the nation of Indonesia, Mr. Joko Widodo, present, hopefully to see some premier class race action here. The local announcers are doing their best to keep the fans entertained. We've just heard them there, I think, just singing the national anthem. Of course, this was a man who rode with 20 riders on that special parade in Jakarta, which Lewis attended. Gave us a real insight and a real flavour into just how popular MotoGP is in this part of the world. And it's great to have Mr. Widodo here present for what we hope is going to be a lap. Generally, rain handlers control the weather by moving clouds. They service they usually use for big events such as weddings, musics and concerts. Well, let's hope the rain handlers manage to handle this weather. That's a great embrace between two men who've done so much together to bring this sport that we love to a country that loves our sport, MotoGP. Dorna CEO, of course, Carmelo Espeleta, embracing and having a conversation here with Mr. Joko Widodo, the President of the Republic of Indonesia. These two men, of course, have worked tirelessly behind the scenes for weeks, months and years to bring MotoGP back to Indonesia. There were two Indonesian Grand Prix at the Central Circuit near Jakarta back in 1996 and 1997. popularity of MotoGP in Southeast Asia has ballooned and rocketed over the last 20 years or so. I remember going to Malaysia and Sepang when Sepang was first built back in 1999. They struggled to get 10,000 fans through the gate. Now you can get 150,000 fans coming to Sepang. It's always great to have international races, to bring the sport to new audiences, to bring the sport to where they love MotoGP. Of course, we race in Thailand, we race in Malaysia, we race in Japan, in this part of the world, and we're hoping that we get to race in Indonesia in 2022 as well. Stick with us, be patient.
It's been one of the regrets, hasn't it, amongst many of the last 2 or 3 years, of course.
Yeah, the grandstands. This is Franco Uncini and Lois Capirossi.
Yeah, we've spoken about the passionate support that they have for MotoGP in this part of the world. They also take it as a great source of pride as well for MotoGP to be visiting this part of the world. We mentioned earlier on, the welcome from the locals here has been...
Wasn't going to be open before 15:45 local time. It's now 15:36. That's been pushed back by a further 15 minutes at least. The pit lane will not open before 4 p.m. local time now. So that's about another 24, 23 minutes away. As we say, we'll keep our fingers crossed that by that stage, MotoGP bike engine fired up in pit lane. Let's hope that bike is going to get ridden in anger at some stage. We're 20 minutes away from the next update. Pit lane will not open before 4 p.m. local time.
Well, you can see everyone obviously huddled up under the shelter. They've been using that shelter all weekend to really keep themselves out of the sunlight and keep themselves in the shade through practice. Many of them, our colleague Matt Dunn walked down pit lane on Thursday lunchtime, and they had fans outside all the pit boxes to try and keep everybody cool. It's certainly been the heat that's been the main.
In the best way as possible. We started very well. Morbidelli, for me, he could also start from the first row without the crash he had in qualify. Now, basically, we throw away all the data we gather in 5 days, basically. But I'm really now doubting if we can start, because apparently the tarmac doesn't drain. There is a lot of water, so I don't know until when we will be able to postpone the start of the race.
Getting back to Morbidelli, I was really happy to see the old Franco flashes of him come back. From inside the box, do you feel he's back on track?
Yeah, definitely. He's very happy now. Every time he wants to push, he's fast. He got back the confidence, the speed. Even in Qatar, for me, he looked much better compared to the winter test, and here even more. It's for sure a good and important point for us, because now we can really compare the two rider data during the race weekend, and as you know, one can push the other one, and that's our aim.
Mayo, thank you for your time, and I hope you get to go racing.
Me too.
Eyes on the weather radars, the weather technology. Can we glean anything from that little map there as we again look at all the local dignitaries? I really do hope that we can get some MotoGP race action in here, because it would be the perfect way to end what's been such a brilliant weekend all round. As Lewis touched upon, we had a fantastic welcome when we first arrived here in Jakarta, the parade of 20 riders with President Mr. Widodo. It was like rock stars, wasn't it? And this was all part of what we hoped was going to be a really special grid ceremony to kick off the Indonesian Grand Prix. We saw the special grid ceremony for the first time precede the Qatar Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago. It was a real nice new feature. Even though they can't go on the grid and they can't perform out on the circuit, well, the band are still going to play the Indonesian national anthem. So myself and Liz will just pause for a couple of moments. Well, you've got to give credit to the Indonesian authorities here. They're doing everything they possibly can to keep the patient fans, the expectant fans, entertained and occupied as we continue to have this unfortunate rain delay here. A rousing and fantastic rendition of the Indonesian national anthem. Some positive news to bring you as well. It looks like the rain just has started to ease off. Sure, that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, didn't it? The band there playing in front of the president, Mr. Joko Widodo. The fans putting their heart and soul into that national anthem as well. What a picture that is. Great scenes here. That's why we are so desperate to give these fans the show that they came for, the show that they have been waiting for 25 years. We're 10 minutes away from what we hope will be the pit lane opening.
And this is the reason why we have the new 15-minute start procedure in place, the shorter start procedure, is if there is a window in the weather where it does ease off, they want to make the most of it, because of course there's every chance if it does ease off that the rain could intensify once again later on. So a sensible application of the rules, where if we do get a little bit of a gap in the weather where we can get a race, and it's important to capitalise on it as soon as we can.
The fans there getting the pictures that they'll cherish for many a year to come. Hopefully they'll get some pictures of MotoGP bikes being ridden in anger around this Mandalika circuit. There has been a little bit of a break in the torrential rain. Let's hope those clouds can clear off and we can get some race action coming up. We can hear the MotoGP bikes just being warmed up in the pit lane. That's got the fans cheering, and this will hopefully get us all cheering, because the new schedule has just been released. There you can see on your screens. Pit lane will open as we'd anticipated and as we'd hoped at 4 p.m. local time for a race start at 4:15 local time, so about 75 minutes Indonesian Grand Prix. There is the president then, Mr. Joko Widodo, who is finally, after all of his effort and all the effort of the authorities here in Indonesia, it looks like, thankfully, we are going to get MotoGP action here in Indonesia for the first time since 9 in the news that we have just brought you sitting at home. We thank you for your patience wherever you are in the world. We know some of you, particularly in Europe, have had a pretty early start to watch the race action. Hope you've got some strong coffee on board and you can now enjoy what will be, of course, a shortened 20-lap Indonesian Grand Prix.